Did you know that about 1 in 100 people worldwide are affected by celiac disease? That's as common as the red hair gene. This autoimmune disorder triggered by gluten impacts millions globally, yet remains underdiagnosed. Awareness is crucial, and it's particularly pertinent now, during Celiac Disease Month. By shedding light on this condition, we can promote better understanding and support for those affected. Understanding celiac disease starts with knowing what triggers it. So what exactly causes this condition? Imagine your immune system mistakenly turning against your own body. That's essentially what happens in celiac disease. This autoimmune condition stems from a complex interplay of genetic and environmental factors. At its core, celiac disease is linked to certain gene variants, particularly those associated with the immune system. These genes make individuals more susceptible to developing the condition when they encounter environmental triggers. The primary environmental culprit in celiac disease is gluten, a protein found in wheat, barley, and rye. When someone with celiac disease consumes gluten, their immune system perceives it as a threat, similar to a harmful virus or bacteria. This triggers an immune response that mistakenly targets the small intestine, leading to inflammation and damage to the intestinal lining. This immune response is not just a minor hiccup. Over time, it can cause significant harm and interfere with the absorption of essential nutrients, which is critical for overall health. This immune response leads to symptoms that can affect various parts of the body. Let's delve into these symptoms next. Feeling tired or having stomach troubles occasionally is normal, but with celiac disease, these symptoms persist and worsen. This autoimmune disorder triggers a severe reaction to gluten, a protein found in wheat, barley, and rye, leading to a range of symptoms that can drastically affect quality of life. The most common symptoms of celiac disease revolve around the gastrointestinal system. Chronic diarrhea, often severe and smelly, is a frequent sign. It occurs due to the body's inability to absorb nutrients effectively, leading to malabsorption. Accompanying this are bouts of abdominal pain and bloating, which can cause considerable discomfort and distress. Beyond these, individuals might experience persistent fatigue. This isn't just the usual tiredness after a long day. It's a profound exhaustion that doesn't go away with rest, stemming from the body's struggle to absorb vital nutrients like iron and B vitamins, which are crucial for energy production. However, the impact of celiac disease isn't confined to the digestive system. Some sufferers may develop anemia due to iron deficiency, which can manifest as paleness, weakness, and breathlessness. Osteoporosis is another potential concern, with weakened bones becoming a risk due to poor calcium absorption. The skin isn't spared either. Dermatitis herpetiformis, a blistering skin condition, is a less common but telltale symptom. It causes intensely itchy and blistering rashes, typically on the elbows, knees, and buttocks. These symptoms are just the tip of the iceberg. Without proper management, celiac disease can lead to several serious complications. While celiac disease primarily affects the gut, its impact can ripple throughout the body. The autoimmune response triggered by gluten can lead to several complications, some of which extend far beyond the digestive system. One significant concern is the increased risk of developing other autoimmune disorders. Individuals with celiac disease are more likely to develop conditions such as type 1 diabetes and thyroid disease. This is due to the immune system's misfiring, which, initially targeted at gluten, begins to attack other parts of the body. Fertility issues are another serious complication linked to celiac disease. Both men and women can experience reproductive problems. Women might face irregular menstrual cycles and reduced fertility, while men might encounter issues related to sperm quality and function. These complications often stem from nutrient deficiencies caused by damage to the intestine, which impairs the body's ability to absorb essential vitamins and minerals. Neurological conditions are also a concern. Some individuals with celiac disease may experience headaches, balance issues, and even neuropathy, conditions believed to be partly due to nutrient deficiencies, particularly of B vitamins, which are crucial for nerve health. Moreover, there is a heightened risk of intestinal cancers, especially in those cases where celiac disease remains untreated over the long term. The constant inflammation in the gut can lead to malignant changes, underscoring the importance of early diagnosis and strict adherence to a gluten-free diet. Fortunately, managing celiac disease can help mitigate these risks. Let's explore how this can be achieved. The cornerstone of managing celiac disease involves one key lifestyle change. Let's delve into what this change entails and how it can dramatically alter the life of someone with celiac disease. At the heart of managing this condition is the adoption of a strict gluten-free diet. Gluten is a protein found in wheat, barley, and rye, and for those with celiac disease, it triggers an immune response that damages the small intestine. Thus, eliminating gluten from the diet isn't just beneficial, it's essential. Adherence to a gluten-free diet must be absolute. Even trace amounts of gluten can cause symptoms to flare up and damage to occur. This means not just avoiding obvious sources like bread and pasta, but also being vigilant about hidden gluten in sauces, condiments, and even some medications. Cross-contamination is another critical area of concern. For example, using the same toaster for gluten-free bread and regular bread can introduce enough gluten to trigger a reaction. Similarly, shared cooking surfaces and utensils in kitchens need careful management. It's not just about choosing the right foods, but also about how they are prepared and served. Reading food labels becomes a new habit that needs to be developed and refined. Foods labeled gluten-free are suitable, but it's important to check labels on all purchased food items. Regulations require allergens such as gluten to be listed, but recipes can change and vigilance is key. For those newly diagnosed or struggling with the diet, consulting a dietitian who specializes in celiac disease can be incredibly beneficial. They can provide tailored advice, practical tips on how to avoid gluten, and help in maintaining a balanced diet despite the restrictions. Support doesn't end with diet alone. Organizations dedicated to celiac disease offer resources, support groups, and up-to-date information that can help manage the disease effectively. Avoiding gluten sounds straightforward, but what does gluten hide in? Knowing this can make all the difference. Navigating a gluten-free diet is like being a detective, where gluten is the elusive suspect. To maintain a healthy lifestyle while managing celiac disease, it is crucial to be aware of both the obvious and the hidden sources of gluten. Starting with the basics, gluten is predominantly found in wheat, barley, and rye. This means that common staples such as breads, pastas, and cereals typically contain gluten unless explicitly labeled otherwise. These are the first foods to avoid when adapting to a gluten-free diet. However, gluten isn't just lurking in the bread bin. It often hides in places you might not expect. Many processed foods, for instance, contain gluten as a binding agent or filler. These include certain types of chocolates, candies, and even some types of chips. Reading labels becomes an essential skill to master. The plot thickens when we consider sauces and soups. Many thickening agents used in these products are based on wheat. Soy sauce, for example, is a common culprit, often derived from wheat unless specified as gluten-free. Similarly, many commercial soups and broths use gluten-containing ingredients for texture and flavor. Beer enthusiasts might also need to rethink their choices, as traditional beers are brewed from barley and contain gluten. Fortunately, the rise in health-conscious consumerism has led to an increase in gluten-free or gluten-reduced beers. Finding gluten-free alternatives is easier now than ever before, with many supermarkets and restaurants catering to gluten-free diets. From gluten-free pastas and breads to specially brewed beers, the options are expanding. Awareness and knowledge are your best tools in managing celiac disease. Let's recap what we've learned. Celiac disease might sound daunting, but with the right knowledge and tools, it can be effectively managed. Let's recap the essential points discussed that shed light on this condition. Firstly, we explored the causes of celiac disease. It's primarily an autoimmune disorder where the ingestion of gluten leads to damage in the small intestine. Genetics play a crucial role, meaning if someone in your family has it, you might be more prone to developing it too. But remember, it's not just genetic predisposition. Environmental factors also contribute to its onset. Moving on to the symptoms, celiac disease often masquerades as other digestive disorders, making it somewhat tricky to diagnose. Common symptoms include abdominal pain, bloating, diarrhea, and weight loss. However, it doesn't stop at the gut. It can also cause iron deficiency anemia, fatigue, and even joint pain. These symptoms vary widely among individuals, which is why it often goes unnoticed for years. The complications associated with celiac disease are serious and can affect various parts of the body. Prolonged exposure to gluten can lead to further health issues like osteoporosis, neurological conditions, and even an increased risk of intestinal cancers. This highlights the importance of early diagnosis and strict adherence to a gluten-free diet. Speaking of management, the cornerstone of controlling celiac disease is, without doubt, a strict gluten-free diet. This involves not only avoiding obvious sources like bread and pasta, but also being vigilant about hidden gluten in sauces, processed foods, and even certain medications. Alongside diet, regular follow-ups with healthcare professionals ensure that the disease is kept at bay and complications are avoided. During Celiac Disease Month, the spotlight is on raising awareness and promoting education about this condition. It's a time to emphasize how crucial it is to recognize the signs, understand the risks, and take proactive steps towards managing the disease. Remember, whether it's for yourself or someone you care about, understanding celiac disease can lead to a healthier, happier life. Spread the word this Celiac Disease Month.